Hey guys, it's Kiara back with another video, and today I'm going to be doing the Astrology Book Tag. This was made by Chelsea over at the Pastel Ghost, and I thought this tag was really creative. I am really into astrology and stuff. I do believe in it because I'm an Aries, and all of the stuff that it says about Aries really describes me really well. Basically, if you don't know what astrology is based around the stars and which stars were out at the time you were born. Depending on the stars is how your personality traits are. Let's just get into it because there's a lot of astrology signs. Aries, a book where characters go on a grand adventure. For this, I picked The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. This whole series encompasses what it is to just go on an adventure and on a quest to help out a friend or solve a mystery or whatever they do. I love the Percy Jackson series, and I just feel like when I think of adventure, I just think of this series automatically. Taurus, a book you thought long and hard about before buying. A book I thought about buying was The Fault in Our Stars. I had read Looking for Alaska and I didn't really like it, so I was hesitant to pick up The Fault in Our Stars because everyone just absolutely loves it, but that's what everyone said about Looking for Alaska, so I was really hesitant to buy this, so I borrowed it from my friend. And then I absolutely loved it, so I bought a copy for myself. Gemini, an author who you feel is wise, someone who understands people and life, and they portray that in their books. This is an author I've actually met in real life, and this is Ava DeLaura, who wrote Love Letters to the Dead. I feel like she really just understands life. Her way with words and the things that she says, she gets it. She understands me. And that's what I think of when I think of an author who understands life. I'm going to stop talking because I'm probably not making any sense about this. Cancer, a book that helped you get through a hard time in your life. A book I picked for this was Slammed by Colleen Hoover. I read this last year during my freshman year of high school, and I was just having a really tough time. This book just helped me smile and forget about my own problems and just get away from the world, and the poetry is just absolutely beautiful. Leo, a book that made you feel inspired or empowered. This book would be All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. This book inspired me to find places in my town where I could go on an adventure and find cool stuff, because they lived in a small town in Indiana and still found great and cool places to be. I live in a small town too, and I want to find adventures, so it just made me really inspired. Virgo, a book you think is flawless. A book that I definitely think is flawless. It is Hopeless by Colleen Hoover. Colleen Hoover is my favorite author, and this was the first book I read by her, and it is absolutely amazing. I just cannot put into words about this book. It was just so amazing, and it just has everything. It's got the feels, it's got everything that's funny, and I just highly recommend this book to everyone because it is flawless. Libra, a sci-fi, fantasy, or dystopian novel with a perfect balance of romance and action. When I think of sci-fi, I think of Across the Universe. This is one of the best sci-fi books I have ever read, and I still am trying to find better sci-fi books, but I haven't found it yet. The whole series is absolutely amazing. I went through this book super fast. It's over 400 pages. It not only has romance and action, but it also has mystery and secrets, and it is so freaking awesome. I highly recommend it if you haven't read it yet. Scorpio, a book that turned out to be very different from what you expected. I have a perfect book for this, and it was Anne and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. I thought this book was going to be cheesy as fudge. Fudge isn't cheesy, what am I saying? I thought this book was going to be super cheesy and that I wouldn't like it. I didn't typically read contemporaries, but now it's all I read. Yeah, I didn't think I would like this book at all, so I got a library copy and didn't actually buy it. And then I absolutely loved it, so I had to have my own beautiful cover. Sagittarius, a book that you are very enthusiastic about, one you recommend to everyone. The book that I recommend to everyone is Cinder by Marissa Meyer. I just feel like this is a book that can appeal to almost everyone. I just think it's a great book for everyone and a great book for anyone who's not really into reading. This book is just always one of the first books that I will recommend to someone else. Capricorn, a book where the main character never gives up in getting what they want. I had a tough time kind of picking this one because I just couldn't really think of a character. The book I chose for this was The Son of Neptune. I feel like Annabeth. Aquarius, a book unlike any other with a uniqueness that sets apart and makes it great. The book I chose for this was The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. This entire world is just so unique, and that's why a lot of people love it, and it's just something completely different from what I've read in other books before. It's a great fantasy series if you're trying to get into fantasy. It is a little long, but it doesn't feel long at all. It's just so freaking good. I really need to pick up the rest of the series because my boyfriend got it for me and I still haven't finished that. Shh, don't tell him. And the final sign we have is Pisces, a book with a character who goes through immense character development. Okay, so when I thought of this, I just knew I had to pick this book. The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. The entire series, Katniss goes through crazy character development. She grows up so much throughout this whole series, and she's just like my baby. So here are all the books I mentioned, and I'm trying so hard to make sure they don't fall because they are all my babies. But yeah, I really enjoyed this tag. A unique so many books.